everyone. What I wanted to talk about today is the low back. Got so many problems going on with the low back. I would say the number one thing for me that I see with the low back is people have their tails tucked in, right? So if you're working at a desk all day, this is what you get. But a lot of people function that way, even if they don't work at a desk, right? And listen, imagine right now all of the animals in the world. Just picture an animal, and even an insect, maybe a bird. What's it doing? What is it doing with its tail? What is a whale doing with its tail? Do they need their tails to function, right? Yes, they all need their tails to function. Almost all animals out there, when I put my mind to it, they're utilizing their tails. But if you're here, what are you doing with your tail? Do humans use their tails when they function? Most of my clients say no. That's my experience. Human beings hardly use their tails. Their tails actually get stuck under, right? This is kind of the number one thing in low back pain. You don't want that tailbone to get stuck under you. The way that I put this is, imagine a dog walking, on the sidewalk. Visualize a dog with its tail under its legs. What energy, what emotion, what feeling do you get from that dog? A lot of people will say anxious, sad, worried, can't move very well. Okay, now visualize this. Visualize another dog with its tail up and wagging. What energy comes across from you when you visualize that dog? Happy dog, right? So we have one sad dog over here with his tail between his legs, another one over here with his tail up and wagging, happy dog. Which one are you? Happy dog or sad dog? So this is where, sort of in my world, the physical and the mental emotional are one and the same. Try it on yourself. Walk around in sad dog. How does that feel? What energy do you get? What emotion is running through you in sad dog? How do you perceive the world when you're in this sad dog place? I like to exaggerate it just so you can see and feel. Do this for yourself if you're watching this video. Now go into happy dog and see and feel what that feels like. Are those two any different? If they are, you're on the right track to coming out of back pain. Obviously, there's a lot more to this, but I wanted to give you just this one simple thing to begin to do so you can start to change the situation that's going on in your low back. All right? Happy dog, sad dog. The important thing is that you're not always the happy dog, right? The important thing right now at this stage, if this is early on in your low back pain journey, the important thing for you to do is just to become more aware and to take some data in terms of how often do I go into sad dog and how often do I go into happy dog? How often you go into something. What does that mean? If I'm going to tie my shoes, do I tie my shoes like this? Yeah? If I'm going to open this door, do I open the door like this? Yeah? If I brush my teeth, do I brush my teeth like this? If I put on my belt, right? Do I put on my belt like this? How many times? Collect the data, because the bigger data set you have, the more information you're going to have in terms of how many times, when do you need to go into happy dog to start to get more mobility in your low back, right? A lot of people out there, they'll prescribe, oh, do this 3 to 5 times, 5 sets. 3 to 5 times, 5 times a day. Something like that. Those, to me, are such weird recommendations in terms of, do this that many times. Why? Because they're setting aside, they're creating a chasm between therapy and life. And for me, the way that I coach my clients is your life should be your therapy. So if opening the door, I do this to open the door, right? That is putting more tension and more contraction and less mobility in my back. But if I can open it this way, now and close it that way, that's a very new pattern for me, right? If I can begin to put my belt on in Happy Dog, that's a very different pattern for me. If I can begin to tie my shoe in Happy Dog, that's a very different pattern for me. You see what I'm saying? A lot of people put a prescription on something and they tell you that thing's going to go away, and I'm telling you totally different. You can't put a prescription on something and expect it to go away when, okay, 3 to 5 reps 5 times a day is good, but what about the million times that you're doing the other thing? Yeah, that's not helpful. So there's only 2 ways to change a pattern. There's intensity and consistency. Definitely 3 to 5 times, 5 times a day is not going to even touch the million times a day you go into Sad Dog. Yeah? So either you do something intensely or you do something consistently, and that's how you create change.